Okay, everyone, welcome along to another episode of Championship Drill, kind of an extended version, if you will, with the midweek games coming in, but then we had a few postponements as well. So, it'll work out about the same as it does usually. So we've got Phil and Jerry with me as always, and we're going to just today, rather than just chat about things, just dive straight into the games and talk about them as they come up along the way. You're good, guys? You having a good weekend?
Yeah.
Excellent, yeah. Happy Valentine's, lads.
Yeah. Yeah, and to yourself as well. You're having a fun Valentine's Day planned, I assume.
Good crack, yeah. Doing the Jerusalem dance last night, and I'm looking forward to seeing both of you do that Jerusalem dance at some stage in the near future.
Steve can't dance at all.
He can dance. Steve's a dark horse.
Sadly, my girlfriend is in a different part of the county on lockdown, so we're separated. So can't do the dance, sadly.
Great excuse.
There we go. But I suppose we'll go right into the midweek games, and Sheffield Wednesday, who only seem to play once a week these days anyway, with all the games that keep getting called off for them. They had a good win over Wycombe midweek. Yeah. Rhodes and Reach with the goals for them. It was really bad at times with the snow. Wednesday, probably better of the game. Akenfenwa had a good chance to score before halftime. I don't think he's played since before Christmas properly, or started the game anyway. But he created a lot of problems, and I suppose when you're 38, you have to give the guy a rest every now and then.
Yeah.
Wycombe fought hard, as we saw with their game again yesterday, which we'll come to later on, but didn't really come off for them midweek. But a good win for Sheffield Wednesday, who kind of need to keep winning with the teams around them winning all the time.
Yeah, good to see Jordan Rose. He's kind of back on the score sheet, but yet again, Karen Westwood is immense. He's that guy is a great goalkeeper, very good goalkeeper.
Liverpool might use him.
I take him in a heartbeat, lads.
Liverpool, there was talk today Adrian's going to be their goalkeeper of the season this year.
Yeah, look, they're all human. Hopefully, Queevy and Kelleher can come in. That's all I'll say now.
Yeah, hopefully. Another couple of games, he'll be grand again. He made some great saves, to be fair, yesterday. One in particular, other than the after the mess up, especially. So that'll do him good. The other game last Tuesday night was Rotherham against Cardiff. Two teams, really, really good run of form coming into this for both teams. I think Cardiff were unbeaten under Mick McCarthy. Rotherham have picked up more points than anyone in the division since Christmas.
Yeah.
Since the turn of the year, rather. Really, really bad snow here. Really heavy at times near the end. Harry Wilson, very, very good. Found Ojo to give Cardiff the lead just before half time. There was a couple of penalty shouts. Phillips made a couple of saves from Smith and Kiefer Moore. Second half, Phillips again with a good save from Morrison. Then Cardiff got a goal kind of similar enough to Rotherham's goal. Came from kind of the breakaway. Smith found Crooks. He tapped in. Murphy blasted over for Cardiff. And then with 5 minutes left, Murphy put in a great cross for Bennett to head home. And I suppose two teams that are in really good form meeting each other midweek. And a pretty entertaining game, despite the horrific weather conditions.
Yeah,
Wilson
was very good.
Yeah. Very, very good. Wilson was very, very good for them yesterday.
The big Mick factor is always a key. As you say, look what he's done now already.
And it's kind of an unusual one because people who listen to this kind of regular enough will know that we always, talk about Mick McCarthy when he wasn't there. Whenever a job comes around, that you'd be mad not to go for him. And a couple of jobs have come up and nobody kind of pulled the trigger on Mick. And then, Cardiff did in the end. And, we see what's happening to them now.
They're looking good on the brink of a top six. And as you say, he's got the likes of Harry Wilson, Ojo, and all these great players in the squad. They're going to have a big push for that top six. And if they get in there, they'll be deadly, Good to see Kieran Sallier back on the bench for Rotherham. I know he's been injured a while. Huge player for them, so I think he'll be a huge player for them, staying up and obviously pushing into that top half.
Yeah, and it'd be great if they could stay up because they're certainly giving themselves a fighting chance with the run of form they've been on recently. The last midweek aside.
Yeah, they look great.
Yeah.
We'll move on then to the only other midweek game, really, the Wednesday night one, which saw Brentford go top of the table for a few days at least, anyway. with their game in hand. Joao gave the home side, I think deservedly. Reading were very good at the start of this one. Laurent was brought down. Joao scored from the spot. Laurent and Joao both had, good efforts as well, saved by Ray and goal again for Brentford, who did well. But De Silva was recalled into the Brentford side. Didn't do too badly, scored 2 goals. And then Ivan Toney with his one right at the end as well, his currently 3rd of the season, pouncing on a rebound after the keeper spilled it. But Brentford just keep on rolling.
Yeah, I reckon now they're going to finish top.
It's
I think
rightly so.
Yeah.
Like the Silve to come into the squad and score 2 goals. That's everything you could ask, you know what I mean, from a player as a manager. Like, and they look unbelievable, lads. And I think they'll be a force to be reckoned with in the Premier League as well.
Yes, they will. I mean, Toney again, he scored his goal, which he seems to do every week these days, but he also set up the other 2.
Yeah.
One with it was just so casual the way he just chested it down to De Silva.
Yeah. There must be no better feeling, Steve, being in your prime. Like Ivan Toney right now scoring goals, setting up goals. You could imagine the confidence in his game right now, like incredible. So he's the difference.
Definitely. Reading though, I mean, the thing is, the likes of Stoke and Middlesbrough and Blackburn, their form's been a bit kind of up and down lately. So the likes of Reading, who've picked up the odd win here and there, it's keeping them inside in those playoff spots because the teams that are pushing for the playoffs are not really winning games at the moment.
Yeah.
So they're kind of getting away with it at the moment. But the likes of now, you've got Cardiff kind of flying at them. Preston, if they can sort their home form out, you wouldn't know. And, Blackburn have had a bit of a dip, which they seem to do, and then they go on a mad run again, Blackburn. So you never know.
It's
So we move on then to the Friday night game. We don't often, with all the Irish lads playing for Preston, we don't usually get to see Preston that often because they just haven't been on TV much this season. We get to see the highlights more than anything. But the game on Friday, Blackburn against Preston, it wasn't really a classic, especially in the second half.
Yeah, bizarre game. As you say, you look at the lineup, and I don't think they've ever had the same starting 11 when it comes to Preston. But look, they obviously got the win. Don't know what's going on with Toney Maguire, lads. We'll always bring him up. I know he was late fitness test last week. Is it down to fitness? I'm not sure. Is he out of favour? But it's great win for them. Obviously, Harvey Elliott not starting was a bit of a shock. Now, yet again, he's played a lot of games. He's young. But it's tactically, I was surprised he didn't start.
Yeah, there was a weird one.
Yeah, it was kind of the first goal though was great. I mean, Gallagher back at Preston, his first goal since he's come back. Beautiful crossfield ball. I think was it Alan Brown played the pass out to him.
Yeah.
Beautiful ball out to him, and Gallagher then the way he took it and the way he just cut inside, brilliant shot, great goal. Really, really was.
Outstanding.
I mean,
I really like the second one with Alan Brown's cross.
Yeah. I mean, the game was very, very, very little happened in the match. And then, like you said, the cross came in and Lindsay headed it home to make it 2-0 to Preston.
Good game. As you say, look, they tactically, they look set up in the back. You know what I mean? Like, Preston have been the most frustrating team to watch this season because they're still in the top half of the table. You look at them sometimes and say, Jesus, they could actually still go on that run. But, like, getting Greg Cullingham back in, obviously Lindsay was immense. Chad Evans has done really good since he's come in. Alan Brown is just Alan Brown. Like, he can do it all day long. Like, it's as I said, when I watched the game and I seen the lineups, obviously I was good at Toney Maguire wasn't on the bench, or Adam O'Reilly. I know they've got a big bench there and a big squad, but obviously Adam Armstrong for Blackburn, always dangerous. But yet again, the shock for me, Harvey Elliott not starting, and I think that was the difference. And people will say I'm crazy, but that man has the.
Is it to do with the thing that's going on though, or is that not to do with it?
What's that?
The case like that where they're kind of doing a case.
Maybe, probably.
Could be. Like you mentioned, Adam Armstrong, he got a goal back for Blackburn from the penalty spot. Strange penalty decision. Sam Gallagher taken down by Hughes, but the referee didn't give it. The assistant referee called him over, and he's the one that actually gave the penalty.
Yeah.
You don't see that too often these days. Well, we're used to seeing the VAR in the Premier League. We don't see it. in the Championship, it's just the ref doesn't give it. It's generally not given. So it's nice to see how the assistant referees can be used.
Yeah,
Because
that's the way they should keep it.
Yeah, with VAR in the Premier League, the assistant referees are almost useless.
Yet again, lads, not jumping the gun into a different league, but look, you see what happened again yesterday.
Yeah.
Clear offside, given as onside, and it's clear as day, like there's 2 players offside. So how can you justify it? Like Ali McCoist was livid on Sky Sports News saying, I can't understand it. Like, so keep the Championship the way it is. Don't change it. It's great to have the assistant in. But in that, like as you say, assistant referee comes in. Obviously, he might have spotted something. I think that's the way to have it. You know, it's ruining the game there. And if it comes down to the Championship, I'm telling you, lads, you'll have a lot of heads turning.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was really nice to see like the officials get together and make a decision. It was very old school, and like I said, Armstrong tucked it away. Blackburn, though, another dent to their blows to try and go up. Like you said, their form has been up and down, and Preston are just baffling with how good they can be away from home and how bad they are at home.
Yeah,
man. There.
If they make the playoffs and go up, it'll be comical.
Yeah. You just don't know.
So
we move on, I suppose, to yesterday's games, and again, we should caveat this saying we're recording this on Sunday morning, so it's an hour and 15 minutes from Brentford's kickoff with Barnsley still. So we have no idea how that's going to go. But yesterday afternoon, an absolutely dreadful game. Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth.
It was
very little happened.
Really, really bad.
Woodgate, had 2 good wins and now a draw to stay unbeaten.
Yeah.
Forest haven't lost, or they've lost once in 11 games.
Yeah.
Glenn Murray had one cleared off the line. I think he was talking to the keeper afterwards to say, "Are you sure it was off the line?"
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I think it was. I think the only good thing about that game, lads, was the build-up.
Yeah.
I was watching Soccer AM, and then obviously that came on straight afterwards. Obviously, it was all about Woodgate, which was bizarre. He was destined to become the Bournemouth manager, but it was a crazy game. Murray was unlucky, and I tell you, Murray has impressed me since he's come in. Yeah. He really does look like he's 38 years of age. So that's the point. He said.
I think Chris Hughton actually knows how to get the best out of him. That's why he's so good.
He does. Yeah. He played his best football under Hughton, didn't he? So
and to say at 38 years of age, I have a point to prove. Man, that's hunger like that age,
Yeah. And it is, and I think he feels like Watford never gave him the chance. So now it's like he's got that like bit between his teeth. Now I'll show you I can still do it.
Yeah, I love it. And at 38, that's what you want to see. The oldest player, lads, to score in the Championship.
Yeah.
Nice.
Amazing.
I would have thought Dean Windass was older, but maybe not.
No,
I don't think so. I don't know. Poor game. Neither side did enough to win it anyway. So a point piece. Not terrible considering the results around both teams.
That's it. Yeah.
But Forest again, though, they just need to.
They're doing enough to stay up.
They're doing enough to stay up, yeah. But again, it's like a couple of injuries and a bad run. You're sucked in. We saw what happened to the team we're going to come on to next, which is Birmingham against Luton. This one was basically 0-0 before the ball was kicked, is what you'd have imagined. Birmingham in awful form.
The Birmingham manager came on after the game and said the players are not listening to what I'm doing.
Yeah, it didn't sound good. I mean, Luton did win it in the end, which, they just don't score away from home. I think it was their 7th away goal of the season.
Yeah, he was
so it was a bit of a shock.
They're not listening, they're not doing what I'm telling them, they're not learning, they're not doing anything that I want.
Yeah, I mean, Karanka was given the dreaded vote of confidence in midweek, so they're second from bottom at the moment.
Yeah,
and like you said, Phil, his comments after the game, there was one that stood out to me, was they asked, are Birmingham going to survive the drop? And his answer was, if we play like we did today, then no.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve, tactically they have to change. Like, they have one up front, Scott Hogan. Like, Tom Ince is on that bench. Ince is a good player when it comes to Championship football. They need to go, you know what I mean? They need to go traditionally 4-4-2, like, because they're playing, you know what I mean? They're not, like, they've got one up front, and we've seen it work with Cork City and Sean Maguire. But look, this is Birmingham City. They need Thomas Ince on front with Scott Hogan. It's clear as daylight, like.
They do, yeah.
They're really, really struggling. I mean, Potts got the goal in the end for Luton, which is his first of the season. Doesn't get many from left back, but there you go. Birmingham, though, like you said, Phil, he wasn't happy. Like when he's talking about they're not doing anything, he's telling them they're defending from set pieces was horrific.
Yeah.
And it could have been 3 or 4-0 to Luton. You know, if they were playing Brentford today, it could have been 9-0.
Yeah.
That's it, exactly.
But they're in real trouble now because the likes of Rotherham and Derby are starting to pick up points.
Yeah.
And they're just, they're right down. They're second from bottom now as well. And Sheffield Wednesday again didn't play. And that's the other thing. A few of the teams around them have games in hand over them now as well. So you're all saying you're a huge club, and to go down to League One would be disaster for them.
They might come back up, lads. And as I say, we look at the squad, like, and I'm not like I'll never come near to being a championship player, like, and it takes immense work, like, but their layout's wrong. It's all wrong. Like Gary Garner's been around a long time.
Yeah.
He's out of position. Like they've got him on the wing, lads. He's playing mainly on the wing. Like he's more of a holding midfielder. Like, you know what I mean? Mikel San-Jose came in. I read him. Like he was with Atletico Bilbao for years. Great player for them. But like Scott Hogan's up front in his own. He's a big lad, a lot of muscle, and obviously he can hold off a lot of players. But if he could just have Tom Ince with him, if he could chest the ball down to Tom Ince or head the ball down to him or hold the ball off and give it to Tom Ince, Ince will score. He's known to score in the championship, and they need to go back to 4-4-2. I'm telling you.
I think so.
They need to try something because I don't think the manager is going to get too many more games, to be honest, if they don't start picking up points.
Look what he said. Look exactly what he said. Do you know what I mean? That, like, when does a manager say something like that? Like, that they're not listening.
It could go one of two ways. Yeah, he's trying to get a reaction probably from the players.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work in the next game, he's probably gone.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. And look, I hope they stay up. They need to stay up. They really do, because they'll be like Bolton. They'll end up in League 2 or something. Because Villa, it's all about Villa and Birmingham, lads. Villa this, Villa that. They'll be the forgotten about club, and they'll end up in League 2, where Bolton. I know Bolton now got point deductions and there was this and that, but they're in big trouble. They need to stay up.
They do. We move on to Mick McCarthy's second game of the week. Another win, 3 wins in a row now for Cardiff, after I think a couple of draws to start it. Coventry were dreadful yesterday, and I know you put that down to Mick McCarthy as well, and the tactics he used O'Hare was pretty good again for Coventry, although he was kicked around the pitch for most of the day and didn't really get the protection that he probably should have from the referee. But Coventry, it was just one of those days where they got near the box and they just made the wrong choice every single time. A lot of chances, but
this might be the worst
so many of them hit wide. I'd be shocked. I think there must have been about 16, 17, if not more shots on goal from Coventry, and I don't know how many of them ended up on target, but not too many, I'd imagine. Cardiff, though, more with his goals again today. He's just been brilliant since Mick McCarthy came in. He's been good all season, but he's been even better. And he's so big, and he's such a handful.
He's unreal, Steve. And look at the way Mick lays out that team. Like, he's got everyone everywhere. Like, you know what I mean? He's got, players coming in from the flank. You know what I mean? Harry Wilson rolls. It's the Harry Wilson show when he's on his form, lads. Like, he's playing just outside the strikers. Like, he's got an eye for goal. He's got an eye for a pass. He's the big player there. Like, Ojo is immense, and he didn't even start again. Like, so, like, Big Mick has that factor. He's always got that X factor, lads. And I'm telling you now, they're on the brink of something big. I think Cardiff will break into that top 6.
It's very possible.
I mean, they're if you think about it, they've picked up, what did we say, 3 wins, 2 draws, 11 points from 15, and now where they were languishing kind of closer to getting towards the relegation when he came in, they're now 7th in the table and 6 points off Bournemouth. Which shows you how this division can change so quickly with a run of results.
It's crazy to think they're only 6 points off Bournemouth.
And they're ahead now of the likes of Blackburn, Preston, Middlesbrough, Stoke, who have all had good seasons, and now Cardiff are up ahead of them.
See, when he came in as well, like he said it, like, look, I don't want a 3-year contract. I don't want a 4-year contract. Give me to the end of the season and see what happens then. Man's a genius. He just
knows this division so well. He knows how to win games. I think some clubs avoid him because of the style of football he plays. And they don't necessarily like the way that he does things. He doesn't play, your team isn't going to look like Barcelona when Mick McCarthy's in charge. But they'll be very, very solid. They'll be hard to beat. They'll be tough. They'll target your weaknesses.
That's
You
it.
know,
Yeah.
and he's just so good at that. Murphy with the other goal, other than the two from Moore and Hyam laid on for Coventry, who are, again, they're a team that just seem to be like Forest. They seem to pull away a little from relegation and then get drawn back in again. And they're just 3 points above the relegation zone now at the moment.
Interesting times ahead for them. I'm telling you, Cardiff look brilliant though. That's all I'm going to say. If Cardiff somehow get into the Premier League, lads, it's great news for all the Irish lads.
Yeah. The only issue is they have a few players on loan, they'd be in trouble.
There's a good few players on loan, but who knows? Maybe one or two might come in. But I'd say Cardiff aren't going to be short of a few quid. They're a big club.
Yeah,
it's not money in Wales.
It's going to be very, very interesting to see who does get the top 6.
Yeah, it really will, because like I said, Blackburn have the ability if they can put a run together, but they just don't seem to be capable of doing it this season.
Like,
and
if Bournemouth don't make the playoffs, like,
with the squad they have, it's not good.
Yeah,
because they have probably the best squad in terms of like the depth and everything.
Most definitely.
Norwich and Watford both have really, really good, like, probably.
But would get in charge, they'll be relegated next season.
Yeah, it's really tough. Sure, we've seen what's happened. We'll come to Huddersfield, what happened to them yesterday, in a minute. But we saw how difficult it's been for them since they've gone down.
Yeah,
it just happened so much. But we'll go instead to Derby and Middlesbrough yesterday. Good win for Derby. They moved 3 points clear of relegation. 4th defeat and 5 for Borough, who have only 1 point from those 5 games as well.
Really bad form.
Has
Richard again scored again?
Yeah,
has he great strike? Probably. I know we'll get to it later, but probably the goal of the weekend. It was some strike.
Oh yeah.
The lad they have on loan from Stoke gave them the lead. Kazim Richards with the second, so they were 2 up. Really poor defending from Derby for the goal, though. That allowed Cabano, who's on loan from Fulham, to score. I know Cabano is an interesting one. He could do things for Middlesbrough, maybe something that they don't have at the minute. He's quite creative, but he kind of drifts in and out of games a bit too much. Yeah. But he does have that something special. Got a goal yesterday. Very, very poor second half, really. Borough pushed, didn't really create much. Derby just kind of shut the game down. 4 wins in 5 games for Derby now.
Unbelievable.
And Borough now dropped down to 8. Like we said, they're 11 on points, but behind on goal difference of Cardiff, and they're still 6 off the playoffs. When you think they've lost 4 of their last 5, 1 point from those 5 games, and they're 6 points behind Bournemouth.
Yeah.
I mean, they must be scratching their heads and or beating their heads off a wall, more likely, thinking we should be in the playoff places.
Yeah, they should be. And look at Derby, as you said, with all that's going on in that club, like, it's fair play to Wayne Rooney. Jason Knight, lads. Like, we have to mention Jason Knight. This guy is going to be the next big thing.
He is, and an Irish kid as well. So, Rooney rates him very highly. He's made him captain a couple of times.
Yeah, he's going to be immense, lads. I'm telling you now. Future captain for Ireland too, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is, like I said, there seems to be more and more Irish players coming to the fore in the last few weeks. With obviously the game was called off yesterday, but Conor Hourihan has had some start at Swansea. I don't know if he didn't play yesterday, because of a frozen pitch. But there you go. We come along now to one of the games of 2 halves, as it really was yesterday.
Yeah,
Huddersfield and Wycombe. Huddersfield absolutely dominating the game, totally in cruise control in the first half. Bakuna and Penza, they were 2 up, and then just in first half stoppage time, Wycombe pulled one back from a empty. And the second half, it was all, I don't know, did Huddersfield think the game was won, that it was a matter of time before they scored again? But Wycombe came out and just gave it everything, threw bodies forward, and they just dominated the entire second half.
Yeah, they were really good yesterday.
So many chances. Like, I mean, they're kind of lucky to get the win in the end because of the amount of chances they missed.
Yeah.
But eventually, Ekpezu was fouled in the box. Jakobsen scored from the spot. Great chances near the end. And then Knight
was very, very good.
Knight, a great strike from him as well.
Even before that, he hit the bar as well.
Yeah,
the bar, they had so many chances, and it was like, it's going to be one of those days again now where Huddersfield get a dodgy penalty in the last minute and win it or something.
Yeah,
it was kind of going the way it's been going all season for Wycombe, but no, they pick up their 4th win of the season, And like we said, they've had so many heartbreaking results in the last few minutes of games that it's nice, even though, not good for Huddersfield out there. But you can't begrudge Wycombe that win yesterday because they deserve something.
Yeah.
They were brilliant. And Daryl Horgan, do you know what I mean? It's Josh Knight. They're some real players, but what a time to get the win, lads. Look, it's going to be a miracle if they stay up, but you know what I mean? Let them go on a little win streak now and sign out in style,
Yeah. I mean, they're four wins this season.
Are they like 12 points from safety or something?
10 points from safety now.
But as Jerry said, like 3 or 4 wins in a row there, and they're up.
Yeah. The problem seems to be those teams that are just outside the relegation seem to pick up points here and there. But you never know. They could go on a run. Horgan, like you mentioned there, Jerry, brilliant yesterday. He had another header that I don't know how the keeper kept it out. And it just looked like it was going to be one of those days for Wycombe.
Yeah. He's brilliant. If for argument's sake, if Wycombe go down, there'll be a lot of teams after him.
Well, yeah. But you look at, if you go back to about 4 weeks ago, Birmingham were looking exactly like Huddersfield are looking right now.
Yeah.
And Huddersfield are only 5 points clear of relegation, and most of the teams below them have a game in hand.
Yeah.
It's worrying time for Huddersfield as well, because they look like a defeat like that is going to really hurt when you're 2-0 up at home against the team who are bottom, who've only won 3 games all season, and you lose it. I mean, that's going to damage your confidence badly.
Yeah, but sure, I suppose football is football. We said it for weeks, lads. Wycombe are due a bit of luck. No, they fought really hard for that win, and it serves Huddersfield right. Do you know what I mean? They're all big boys in that team. You know what I mean? They're a great club. They've been up and down all season, but it was coming for Wycombe, lads. We're saying it for a long time. It was coming for Wycombe, and I just pray that they can go on a win streak. If they stay up, I'll write a book about it, lads. But it'll be unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. But Huddersfield, are they in danger of being dragged in like Birmingham were?
Very possible, yeah.
Their form is awful.
Yeah.
I suppose the one thing you might say down their side is they were battling relegation last season, so a lot of the players know what's needed to stay up, and that might help them in terms of the mentality. Whereas the Birmingham players seem to be acting like they're not even in the relegation zone.
Yeah.
Reality hasn't hit home for them or something.
Exactly.
We move on then to Norwich. Finally got 1 goal and then got 3 more after that. Yesterday, 2 from Pukki, who again, he just looks like once he scores a goal, his confidence goes through the roof and he becomes a different player.
Yeah.
He got 2. Cantwell scored. Beneda scored. Beneda had a hand in all 4 of their goals on his return from suspension, and like I said, he's created more chances than anybody in English football since he came into English football.
Yeah.
It's amazing he's still at Norwich. I think even at the start of the season when we were going through players who Premier League clubs could go after, he was one of the names on our list.
Yeah, I think this would have been a different game if that goal was given, the offside one.
If Fletcher had a goal offside again, marginal call.
Yeah.
3-0 Norwich when Powell scored to make it 3-1. I don't know what the defender was doing. He absolutely carved his own defence open with that pass.
That's the second time they've done that, because they've done it moments before that as well.
Yeah, and nice finish from Powell, but I mean, he was played clean through by the Norwich player. Norwich probably deserved the win. Stoke didn't defend really well, which was unusual for them. But Beneda, we said it, he just makes such a difference.
He does, yeah.
He's so good at just finding space, like just playing the ball forward. And he seems to just make the right decision when we talk about Coventry making the wrong decision. The other day, he just seems to make the right one. And when you try to stop him playing, that just gives space for Cantwell and Pukki to just do what they do. It's going to be really interesting, the fight for the automatic promotion spots, because Norwich seem like they're going to kick on now again. Swansea are in great form. Brentford are in great form. It's going to be, some battle for those automatic spots. And Watford as well are, if they can sort out their away form, they're not out of it either.
Yeah. Good times ahead.
Yeah. I suppose Stoke, again, they're kind of fading away from their playoff push, but they're capable of putting a good run together as well. We've seen them do it. So who knows? I guess he'll just put it down to an off day, because it wasn't like them, the goals they gave away.
John Obi McKell almost scored.
Nearly. We're still waiting. He's got his assist this season. I suppose he's not in the team for scoring goals, but we're still waiting for that one.
Yeah.
Be great when he does it. We move on then to Reading, who lost their second game in a week. Really bizarre. Opening goal gave them the lead, though. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it.
Yeah, the keeper was really poor. What was he doing?
The keeper was taking a throw. I think Semedo went in, challenged the Millwall player, and it just bounced off him from about 50 yards out and went in.
Yeah.
It was one of the most bizarre goals I've ever seen anyway.
Yeah.
And Reading 1-0 up, looking pretty good. Joao nearly made it 2-0, only for a great save to deny him. Millwall didn't really create much at all until Bradshaw absolutely scuffed his shot, but somehow it fell to Smith, who tucked it home. And the scores were level at half-time, and Millwall did not deserve to be level at half-time. Better in the second half, though, Millwall. Malone, especially down the wing, was putting in some great crosses, and eventually he found Bennett to head home. Millwall, unbeaten in 6, climbed to 13th. They're only 8 points themselves off the playoffs. But again, they're very, very similar to Preston, maybe a little bit better at home than Preston. But 23 of their 38 points have been away from home. And like we spoke about Reading earlier, the teams chasing the playoff places aren't winning, although the likes of Millwall are now, and the likes of Cardiff are winning. So,
yeah, it's Jesus. Troy Parrott leaves, and you know what I mean. They start to get going. Troy Parrott's probably kicking himself now because the team hits form at the right time and they're creating chances. But they're looking good. But I still maintain they'll definitely inside the top half.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean they're kind of like Bournemouth. They're getting lucky. They're picking up the odd point here and there, and the teams below them just aren't winning. Move on into the team and really, and they're lucky they had a good start is Bristol, because they were shocking yesterday.
Didn't they lose? That's their 4th loss in a row. 4
defeats in a row. Their 6th away defeat in a row.
Yeah, like if they were playing Brentford yesterday, they would have lost 20-0, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, they just didn't even put up an effort. I'd say Watford might have had 7 or 8 shots on target in the game. They scored 6.
Yeah.
2 from Sarr, 2 from Sama Hughes, and Zickernagel as well. Watford's biggest win of the season, and it's their biggest league win since they beat Sunderland 8-0 in 1982.
Yeah.
And no Troy Deeney. He stayed on the bench. Ball boy.
Yeah, didn't even. But Bristol in real trouble, like you said, Phil. They've lost 4 in a row. They've lost 6 away games in a row. They're really, really struggling. And their board were very patient with the last manager.
Yeah.
Don't know where they're going to be with this one. I mean, they'd be on their 4th manager of the season if they were Watford by now.
Yeah.
But, will they stick with him? They probably will.
Best performance I've seen by Sarr.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Premier League worthy, he's, almost went to a big club in the Premier League, but this guy is savage, and he's really stepped in ahead of Troy Deeney to do the damage. Like he can score goals. He just looks like a player. He reminds me of Manny, lads. You know what I mean? Manny when he was at Southampton is equivalent to Sarr at Watford. Lads, he is just going to be an absolute worldie, and he's only young, like early 20s. I'm telling you, this guy will be huge.
Yeah,
he's outstanding. Yesterday he was outstanding.
Yeah. Very, very, very good. Not much else to say about the game really, other than Watford absolutely hammered them and deserved the win. And good win for Watford, but they need to sort out the away form if they want to push for the automatic promotion places, because their away form is as good as their home form has been, and they are the best team at home in the Championship. Their away form is not great, and they're losing and drawing too many of those games. So then a couple of games called off yesterday. Rotherham QPR. Don't remember the last time QPR played a match. Frozen pitch for Rotherham. Sheffield Wednesday again, who, like we said, only seem to play once a week. Their game was called off against Swansea as well. So just quickly, your goal of the week.
Kazim Richards.
Yeah, I have to agree, Phil.
And also Todd Cantwell.
Cantwell's a nice goal too. Yeah. But Kazim Richards for me, because it's like what form he's in as well. I don't think just keeper in the world would have saved that. The team of the week.
I'd probably give to Wycombe, to be honest.
Wycombe, deserving.
Yeah, Wycombe or Norwich, but Wycombe given the circumstances.
Yeah, I could see Wycombe. I'll give it to Watford myself, just because they said their biggest league win since 1982. The player of the week.
Sarah, I'd say.
Yeah, has to be
Sarah,
him or
very good.
Pookie or Sarah. But Sarah was brilliant.
Yeah.
Pookie Sarah, I think, Beneda and Norwich, brilliant. I think he scored one, set up the other three. And Toney as well midweek was very good. But I'll give it to Beneda because I just think he just, a team that were struggling for goals, he come in, they scored 4. So. And the biggest shock of the week?
Norwich beating Stoke 4-1 is a shock to me, lads. I know they were probably favourites to win the game, but to beat Stoke 4-1, bit of a shock to me.
Millwall
for you? Yeah, I think Millwall winning as well. Especially, I suppose they're better away from home than they are at home, but there you go. So yeah. So we move on to the games. Full lot of midweek fixtures. Like I said, Brentford are playing Barnsley in what are we now? We're 12:15, 45 minutes time. And that'll be a good one to look forward to. We won't make too many predictions for that one because we look completely foolish because
oh, Jeff.
this one will be going out after that game finishes. So I think we all went for a home win. We talked about that last week anyway. Yeah. So we'll wait and see. So Tuesday, a couple of good, interesting games here if they go ahead, obviously, weather dependent on a lot of them. Preston at home to Watford. Team who can't win at home against a team who can't win away.
I want to say Preston.
Preston to get a home win?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this will be a draw because neither of them seem to be capable of winning where they're playing at the minute. As in Watford can't win away, Preston can't win at home. So a draw for me there. Stoke, Sheffield Wednesday.
Stoke.
Yeah, Stoke at home. 1-0.
Stoke will tighten things up after conceding 4. All right, maybe the classic 1-0 to Stoke at home on a wet and windy Tuesday night in Stoke. Bristol City and Reading.
Bristol City, I'd say.
Yeah, 2 teams. I'm going to go for a draw on this one. I think neither side wants to lose another game.
Yeah.
So they'll keep it pretty tight, which probably means it'll be 6-0 to somebody in that one again. Middlesbrough home to Huddersfield.
Draw.
Middlesbrough, I think.
I think Borough might nick this one at home as well. 2 teams again, though, who aren't in the best of form at the moment.
Yeah.
Wycombe home to Derby. Big one down near the bottom of the table.
I'm going to say Wycombe again.
5-0 Wycombe.
Yeah, I think Wycombe will nick this one 2-1. I think drag Derby back in there. Interesting one next. Luton home to Cardiff because Luton are very hard to beat at home.
Do you know what? I'm going to say Cardiff.
Yeah, you're going to say Cardiff away. Keep the run going.
Yeah.
Cardiff, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a 0-0 draw. This is my 0-0 for this week. Move on into a few games on Wednesday. Coventry home to Norwich.
Norwich, yeah.
I think Norwich might nick this one as well, sadly. Then we have Millwall against Birmingham.
I'm going to say Birmingham this time.
Millwall to make it 3 in a row.
Birmingham to get
Millwall.
odds.
What's that?
Birmingham to get a
Birmingham?
Yeah.
And I think Birmingham might nick this one. Just to make things interesting at the bottom. QPR, who haven't played, I think, since last season.
Yeah.
Up against Brentford.
Cancelled.
Yeah, cancelled. QPR.
Yeah.
Brentford.
QPR for the win in that one. I think Brentford are just too good at the minute. The run has to come to an end at some stage.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It'll come to an end in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Yeah. Swansea, home to Nottingham Forest.
Swansea, I think. Yeah. Swansea.
I think this is going to be the shock of the week. I think Forest are going to win this one. And I think they might do a 3-1. Barnsley, home to Blackburn Rovers.
Barnsley.
Yeah, I know. I think Blackburn might nick this one away from home. They need a win. And then finally, Bournemouth home to Rotherham.
Yeah, I take a draw.
I think possibly a draw as well. So I suppose, guys, we will leave it there. We will be back probably next Thursday, next Friday, something like that, to talk about the midweek games before Friday night's match, which I think is Watford against Derby, isn't it?
I think it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So yeah.
Good game.
So that could be a good one, yeah. And before we go, we got a message in during the week from wonderful young man, Mickey Myers, his name, who is known to people from the Special Olympics. I think he got a silver medal for football once in the Special Olympics. So he asked us, could we give him a bit of a shout out? So, we're wishing him all the best. I think he's retired now at the moment. So, all the best from him, and well done on when he won the silver medal, I think a few years back as well. So great to hear from him, and anyone can feel free to get in touch at any time about anything. Ask us questions, make fun of us, whatever you want to do. We don't mind.
Thanks, Mickey.
Cheers.
So we'll leave it there, so guys, and I will see you during the week.
Yep.
Enjoy Valentine's, lads.
Yeah, we'll do. Going off to dinner.